We are living in the era of hyperconnection. This is the time when humanity possesses the greatest communication technology in history. But this is also the time we are faced with a bitter paradox. The easier it becomes to touch each other through screens, the harder it is to touch each other's souls. We exchange thousands of messages, yet we are afraid of a 5-minute phone call. We have 5,000 friends, but not a single person we can call at 2 a.m. Loneliness is no longer about being alone. Modern loneliness is when you stand in a sea of people, yet no one truly sees you, and you don't truly see anyone either. We put on noise-canceling headphones, build digital walls, and lock ourselves inside our own worlds, while still longing for a real connection. On the surface, it seems like we are more connected than ever before. But beneath that constant stream of interaction, something is not right. Why do we fall into this trap? Why does the connection we deeply crave turn into a curse? Let's join Decoded Psychology as we dive into the dark side of modern loneliness to find a way out for ourselves. Have you ever stood in a crowded elevator, bodies pressed close together, yet felt like you were standing alone in a desert? Everyone around you is there, but their minds are somewhere else, in some kind of digital world. Be honest. How many times have you scrolled past hundreds of your friends' happy check-in photos, thousands of praising comments, only to put your phone down and feel a hollow emptiness in your chest? You ask yourself, why does everyone seem happy except me? Because while we are constantly staying in touch, we are slowly losing the feeling of being truly understood. And then, when was the last time you truly felt understood? Even though we are more connected than ever before, humanity has never felt this lonely. Rates of depression are rising. Anxiety is becoming the background noise of everyday life. And there is a quiet, persistent feeling that lingers within many of us, a sense that something is missing, even when everything seems to be there. You can sit in a crowded room, hear laughter, see people talking, feel the presence of others around you, and still feel completely invisible. You can have hundreds of contacts in your phone, dozens of conversations happening at the same time, yet still not have a single person you feel safe enough to call when everything inside you starts falling apart. The psychologist Carl Jung once said, "Loneliness does not come from having no one around, but from being unable to communicate the things that matter most to you." We are confusing socializing with connection. Socializing is surface level, connection is depth. When you scroll through social media, your brain receives artificial hits of dopamine, but your soul remains hungry for genuine empathy. Pause for a moment on this idea. It means that you can sit next to your spouse, your partner, or your closest friend, but if you cannot express your fears, your dreams, or the broken parts within you, you will still feel completely alone. Pause for a moment on this idea. It means that you can sit next to your spouse, your partner, or your closest friend, but if you cannot express your fears, your dreams, or the broken parts within you, you will still feel completely alone. We are confusing socializing with intimacy. Socializing is a skill, but intimacy is a state of the soul. The digital world encourages us to socialize widely, but punishes deep intimacy. Because to be intimate, you need time, patience, and the courage to reveal your most imperfect parts, things that a single, button can never truly express. To understand why we feel lonely, we must first understand a harsh truth. Our brains have not evolved fast enough to comprehend the internet. Our ancestors lived in small tribes, where every glance and every touch carried survival value. But today, we are trying to fill our hunger for empathy with digital fragments. Psychologists call this phenomenon empty calories in communication. Just like eating a lot of fast food while the body remains malnourished due to a lack of nutrients, scrolling through social media works the same way. You receive thousands of interactions, but they are empty calories. They satisfy your immediate craving for dopamine, but leave your soul starving for genuine empathy. We are confusing socializing with connection, confusing being present in each other's lives with being truly seen. Socializing exists at the surface, where conversations flow smoothly and smiles are given at the right moments. Connection, on the other hand, happens at a much deeper level, where you can say what you truly think without editing yourself, where you do not need to be interesting or perfect to be accepted. The problem is that in today's world, we are almost always rewarded for staying on the surface. Every time you scroll through social media, every notification, every like, every new message gives your brain a small hit of dopamine, making you feel as if you are connected, as if you belong to something. But that feeling fades quickly, leaving behind an emptiness that you cannot quite name. And so you keep scrolling, keep responding, keep showing up. You talk to many people, you laugh, you interact, you sustain conversations that seem endless. But the most important things within you are still never spoken, not because you lack the opportunity, but because somewhere deep inside, you are not sure whether anyone would truly understand. And it is that uncertainty that leads you to choose the safer option. You only share what is okay. You hold back the parts that are vulnerable. Gradually, you construct a version of yourself that others can easily accept. Why do we choose safe loneliness over real connection? The answer lies in one word: judgment. In a world driven by algorithms, we are taught that your value lies in your perfection. We only present luxurious vacations, shining successes, and carefully angled smiles. Without realizing it, we turn ourselves into curators of our own lives, filtering out everything that is most human about us. Psychological researcher Brené Brown once said, "In order for connection to happen, we have to allow ourselves to be seen, truly seen." But being seen is a frightening experience. It means admitting that you are sad, that you are failing, or that you don't know what to do next. We fear that if we remove the mask, others will no longer love us. So we choose loneliness and safety rather than risk rejection and truth. Have you ever typed out a long message to express your pain, only to delete it because you were afraid the other person might find you bothersome? That is the moment you quietly shut the door on connection. We choose safe silence over risky honesty. As a result, we create a world of ghosts. We are together, yet our real selves never meet. Modern loneliness is not the absence of people to talk to, but the absence of courage to be real. We build digital fortresses to protect ourselves from being hurt, but unintentionally turn them into prisons. We crave to be understood, yet we are too afraid to be understood. And that is the mechanism behind the curse of connection. The more we try to control how we are seen, the more we push others away. Why are we afraid of real connection? Because real connection requires vulnerability. To be understood, you must take off your mask. But in a world of filters and perfect profiles, we fear being judged. So we choose the safer route, presenting a carefully edited version of ourselves. And what is the result? People begin to like that version, while the real you remains lonely because no one truly knows it exists. And this does not happen in a single moment, but unfolds very slowly, almost imperceptibly. At first, you only hide a little, a thought, a feeling, an imperfect part of yourself. You tell yourself that it's not necessary to say it, that everything is fine. But the next time, you do the same again. You edit your words before you speak. You consider what would make others more comfortable. You begin to live in a version of yourself where everything is controlled, safe enough, pleasant enough, so that no one feels uncomfortable. And then one day, you realize that you can talk to many people, yet you cannot share anything that truly matters. You can show up everywhere, but there is nowhere you feel you truly belong. Conversations continue, relationships still exist, but there is an invisible distance that no one can reach, not even you. The irony is that you are not rejected. On the contrary, you are accepted, even liked. But what is being liked is not entirely you. And the more you are accepted, the more you tend to hold on to that mask, because you are afraid that if you take it off, everything will change. So you continue to stay silent about what truly matters. You continue to play the role of a version that is fine. You continue to connect, but never truly touch anyone, and never allow anyone to touch you. And deep inside, there is still a part of you waiting, not to be noticed, but to be seen, not to be judged, but to be understood. But as long as you keep hiding your true self, every connection you have will remain at the surface. The way out is not to abandon technology, but to relearn how to be present. Try a small experiment. The next time you meet a friend, put your phone away. Look into their eyes. Listen not only to their words, but also to their breathing and the emotions behind them. Loneliness begins to fade the moment you dare to be honest with your feelings, even if they are clumsy or imperfect. The way out of this curse is not to smash your phone or abandon technology to retreat into the forest. That is just another form of escape. The real solution lies in relearning a skill we have forgotten: presence. It is when you choose to be here, right now, with the real human being in front of you. Try a small experiment. The next time you meet someone important, let your digital world rest quietly in your pocket. Look into their eyes. Don't just hear the sounds they make. Listen to their breathing, the pauses, and the unnamed emotions behind their words. When you are fully present, you are giving them the most valuable human gift: your attention. Loneliness will begin to fade the moment you dare to be honest with your feelings, even if they are clumsy, imperfect, or full of cracks. Those cracks are where the light gets in, and it is precisely in those imperfect moments that real connection begins to appear. You don't need to say anything grand, just something a little more honest than usual. And sometimes, it only takes one person willing to be real first for the other to slowly lower their guard. Connection is not something you create through perfection. It appears when you dare to show others, and in doing so, you are unknowingly handing them the key to do the same. You are not perfect either, just like them. Don't let the numbers on a screen define your worth. Let real connections define your life. Tonight, instead of scrolling for another hour, call or send a sincere message to someone you truly care about. Not an icon, but a real question, a real expression of care. If this video touches a part of you, leave a dot or a message in the comments. You will see that on the other side of the screen, there are thousands of people searching for the same kind of connection as you. Don't forget to subscribe so we can continue this journey of understanding the human mind together.